So I walk back in, he said, yo, you gotta be careful who you bringing around here. We might have just slapped the shit out of K-Slay. And I'm like,
damn. All right, so Cameron and Gillie basically trying to expose Jay-Z. Jay-Z is not who he appears to be, yada, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, this is not the first time we heard this, and hopefully they got some evidence to back that up. In this video, we're trying to get to the bottom of this, and go ahead and leave a like on the video. I'm trying to get this video to 100 likes.
So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was like in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist.
You want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you? Keep it a buck. I said the Rock Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow. Yep. That's what they say.
So, it looks like Cameron isn't taking his foot off Jay-Z's neck anytime soon, because he just teamed up with rapper Gillie Da Kid to expose Jay's real behavior when the cameras aren't rolling. And let's just say Jay-Z is never beating the control freak allegations. Gillie exposed Jay for trying to force him into a slave deal where he would have to work like a dog while earning peanuts. What's even more disturbing is the fact that Jay allegedly tried to control the rappers signed to Rockefeller, and when they refused to do exactly what Jay wanted, he would allegedly threaten them, blackball them, and ruin their careers. Cameron also had a lot to say about this, and y'all already know he doesn't hold anything back when it comes to exposing these so-called industry elites. So what did Cameron have to say about Jay-Z's alleged control tactics? And did Jay really threaten to unalive Gillie? Let's talk about it.
Damn, that's serious though.
So he says he's in the studio playing it, and my verse come on, and Jay say, stop it, erase that shit, and just erase my whole verse.
Crazy.
So PD calls me, he like, I gotta
slow you down a little bit.
So, it's no longer news that Jay-Z is one of those ruthless business moguls who'll do anything to get ahead in the game. Recently, more and more people have been opening up about how Jay-Z did them dirty. Whether it's by making them sign slave record deals, cheating them out of deals, blackballing them, or even sometimes threatening them to go with whatever he wants. Nothing is too much for Jay-Z, allegedly.
Hey, peep game though. People say this about Dre, people say this about Jay-Z, people say this about Diddy. This is what people say about them. So peep that. Just pay attention to that. That's all I'm saying.
In recent interviews, Cam has been spilling the beans about his time at Rockefeller and how he was treated when he worked closely with Jay-Z and his former partner Dame Dash. For context, Cameron got signed to Rockefeller through Dame Dash, who he was childhood friends with. At the time, Cam was fresh out of a terrible record deal with Tommy Mottola's Sony Epic Records. Before that, he had been signed to Lance Rivera's entertainment label, distributed by Epic Records. The deal also wasn't all that great because it fell through when the label lost its funding. Cameron didn't have great experiences when it came to record deals and labels, so coming to Rockefeller, Cameron was ready to hit the ground running, which is what he did. In 2002, he released his third and most successful album, Come Home With Me, featuring guest appearances from Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel, and Memphis Bleek. Star producers like Kanye West and Just Blaze also worked on the album. That same year, Cam also appeared in a movie Dame Dash produced titled Paid in Full, starring alongside Mekhi Phifer and Wood Harris. Cam was moving higher up in the company, making big moves and growing his career. By all accounts, Cam's collaboration with Rockefeller was going well. However, everything changed when Jay started getting jealous of the way Cam was becoming an important figure in the label. Allegedly, Jay didn't want anyone getting on top who he didn't co-sign. And here was Cam doing it effortlessly because he worked hard and knew how to network with the big guys. Jay-Z wasn't happy with this, so he allegedly tried to block Cameron's success. He started by telling Cam he couldn't bring certain people to the office even if they were there for work. According to Cam, he started to feel negative energy from Jay-Z at some point. He'd tell Jay he needed to work on something, or that he needed Jay to sign off on some deal he was trying to make, and Jay would just give off a very
niggas that this sounds like right now. You feel me? That's the craziest part about it. It's not the first time we've seen or heard this type of shit before. Jay-Z starting to sound like a real control freak.
That happened.
One time, Cameron said he was working with rapper Petey Crack on a record, and just when the song was set to be released, Jay-Z stepped in and made Petey delete Cam's verse. Cam made sure he got his lick back by removing Jay's verse from his song Oh My years later after he had left Rockefeller.
Mind you, this is in a time where niggas wrote on a pen and pad and had to like recite that shit the way they heard it. And like, it was way harder. It was just more work back then. So this is what happens, bro. And in modern times, the nigga that comes to mind is Drake. what I imagine is somebody must have did Drake like this, and now Drake is petty. Or just like how Lil Wayne was petty towards Young Thug. I'm saying, know what a Jay-Z verse would have did for him.
Song got erased, you know what I'm saying?
Things never got better when he was at the label, though. It all came to a head in late 2002 when Dame tried to make Cam and Beanie Siegel the new president and vice president of Rockefeller. After Cam got the news, he was pretty excited because all his hard work was finally paying off.
Say he don't look like Dr.
However,
Umar.
Cam had no idea that Dame had not consulted Jay-Z before making this decision. And to be fair, it's not like Cameron had signed any deal or something. He was just excited about the prospect of moving up in the company, and since Dame was the one who gave him the information, he felt it was legit.
Because of these two bad deals that I came out of, I know where the money should be going. I know how much should be allocated to marketing, how much should be allocated to promotion, how much should be allocated to the studio, etc. I understood the business. So at that point, I was busting moves faster than probably any other artist they had there. And I'm pretty sure that other artists and Jay-Z didn't like how fast I was moving. So when when Dame did offer me that, I'm like, that's just another announcement I can make, because it's looking like Cam was like in a terrible situation. I'm starting to get my crew together with the Diplomats, and now I'm doing good as a solo artist. Let me make this announcement, even though it's a real announcement that Dame told me, we just couldn't figure it out contractually. But I didn't know he didn't consult with Jay-Z about it. But when you ask me, do I feel the blame? Maybe I did jump the gun and talk about it too soon, because no contracts was signed, no deal was done. But I'm looking at it as, okay, this is Cam coming out of a shitty situation, busting all these moves in a small time.
What nobody expected was
fire.
the way Jay completely flipped out, as if he was insulted by the idea of Cam becoming the president of his label. He shot down the idea so fast that you would think Cameron was planning to kick him out of Rockefeller or something. If Cameron didn't know Jay-Z was trying to bring him down before that time, he definitely knew now. But see, there have been many instances where people called Jay-Z out for blackballing them or stepping over them to get ahead. Till today, a lot of people believe that the reason why Dame and Jay's relationship fell apart was because of Jay's dirty business dealings. Even Dame has talked about how Jay did him dirty in multiple interviews. Believe it or not, Dame was the one who pushed Jay's music career when no one else wanted to give him a chance. Eventually, they created Rockefeller, which was
Not gonna hold you, Dame was the first one I ever heard say something bad about Jay-Z, and I never really knew why they fell out. I guess we
Dame's brainchild. Within a few years, Dame and Jay had launched multiple other businesses, including Rockaware, which were all multi-million-dollar companies. In the beginning, Dame and Jay
Stop the video. If you would, just consider following me on Instagram and Spotify. I'm trying to get to 2,000 monthly listeners, and after that, I'm trying to get to 5,000 monthly listeners. Y'all have been great, man. I really appreciate y'all. Back to the video.
On anything related to their businesses. But it got to a point where Jay started leaving Dame out of some important business decisions. Jay-Z blamed it on Dame being a reckless spender and very hot-headed, which made doing business difficult.
I don't understand that. Jay's not on Def Jam. Jay's on Rockefeller. Y'all not better than me. Y'all trying to make, I don't understand that. I want somebody to explain it to me. I ain't get no calls about nothing. And I'm not even trying to, y'all pull this shit. Y'all know what we going through when we're pigs and all that. Y'all gonna f around like this?
Honestly, we did know about the big thing.
I know y'all know about it. Y'all went to the wait, I want to know, I seen all of y'all yesterday. Why nobody told me about a marketing plan about Jay-Z? This is not your artist. Y'all don't do nothing for Jay-Z without me. What the That's why y'all trying to make this like, oh, that's also, y'all the ones promoting me and him got a beef too? Because we don't. How y'all got a meeting about Jay without me? How y'all make any decisions about Jay without me? Huh, John?
Oh.
Hey, man, how you gonna have a problem? Because I'm asking you because you here on Jay's behalf.
Yo.
I bet you Jay don't know I wasn't invited. I bet you that. An email, now we discuss things through email.
And to an extent, it's true. Dame bought multiple mansions in different cities, flew private for years, and had entire closets dedicated to his sneakers collection. Dame could also be very aggressive. He would talk down on business partners, go off on artists when they made any little mistake, and he sometimes let his temper get the best of him.
Everybody wants a jacket. You want to do something, make a motherfucking hard tour jacket. We don't want that shit. No, why do I need Beanie Man and Memphis Bleak wearing a Def Jam jacket? They on Rockefeller. All of a sudden, niggas got jackets with their names on. And on our tour, it makes it look like a Def Jam tour. Wait a second, all right, look, you're the president of the company, right? So that means you're smart. Am I right? So don't sit there and play dumb. Now, wait. If everybody on this tour has a Def Jam jacket on, what would be the general perception of this when people just walking around and don't know nothing? What would it look like? People would think it's a Def Jam. So then, knowing this, why wouldn't you be extra sensitive about giving everybody Def Jam jackets on this tour? Why? You're president, now you know. So either you're real smart or you're real dumb. It's one of
Hey, this is what it takes to be a boss. I'm not even tripping, but, you know, at the same time, or maybe I'm just one of these sensitive niggas, but I feel like you can't get too crazy with people, but I understand his passion. That's all I'm saying. But different time, I guess.
And I'm not gonna say that you're real dumb. I'm gonna say you're real
Yeah, you
smart.
can't call me dumb.
So you know better. You all know better.
According to Cameron, Dame ended up broke because his lifestyle was way too expensive for the money he had. On top of that, he also had this weird sense of entitlement.
But like with Dame, I would love to do the things Dame did. Fly private for 5 years straight. Buy 2 mansions in London. You got a mansion in London just for your kids, and then a personal mansion in London for something else. Or
London
renting
ain't
or
cheap
whatever.
either.
You just got mansions in London. We not even from London. We just going to fucking London, hanging out, not saying I put on my artists or really, you know, more Jim and Jewels, but we was all Dipset, SAS. Just out in London spending money. I would love to have 2 lofts in Tribeca right around the corner for each other. 20,000 for this loft, 20,000 for that loft around the corner. So you got $40,000 a month for just lofts.
Damn.
Airfare, flying everywhere. You know, Dame, I would have loved to have the biggest mansion in Alpine, New Jersey. Dame is the only that I ever seen to this day. I'm talking about to this day, and I've been in a lot of places, and I could, like I said, maybe I haven't been in the right places. I've never seen a nigga with a urinal in their house yet. Dame is the only I see when you go to his house.
That's a weird
And he
flex.
got the stand up in the men's room. He got a urinal in his house, in the movie room, a urinal. You go to Dame house, he got a crib in Malibu. Yo, you know these walls are made out of museum walls, right? This the same shit they use in the museum. This ain't regular house walls. They make museums out. This is museum walls and shit. Bro, if you
Nigga, that's how you know you got too much money, when you flexing the museum walls in your house, bro. That's crazy.
live like that, you gotta keep hustling. You can't buy all that shit you bought. And I'm being
That's a
nice,
good
I'm not
point.
even naming half of it. You can't buy all that shit and spend all that money and then be like, I shouldn't have to work anymore. I ain't have half the shit I just named. I ain't have no 2 lofts in Soho. I ain't have no 2 mansions in London. I ain't fly private every day for 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I ain't have no damn urinal. This all that you was spending your money on. I'm just good budgeting money, thank God.
However, none of this
Yeah.
changes the fact that Jay probably wouldn't be where he is today without Dame. So, when Jay started betraying Dame by going behind his back to sign deals, undermining his authority in the company, Dame was really hurt. The worst part of it, according to Dame, was the fact that Jay went on collaborating with R. Kelly, despite knowing what he did to Aaliyah, who was the love of Dame's life. What really shocked Dame about the betrayal was the fact that it took him so long to understand that Jay would do anything and step over anyone to get ahead.
What are those things? If you were giving me advice.
I wouldn't have been so generous with Jay. It was more friendship for me and money for him. I wouldn't have, the things
That's
that
interesting.
I wouldn't have let certain things happen because I didn't think they could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, he would never do that. But he did things that I thought he would never do. So now I would be like, oh, he would do that. And I would make sure it didn't happen.
If Jay-Z could do that to his own best friend and business partner, imagine what he did to people he didn't consider his equal.
I was just finna say that. But no, I literally have heard horror stories about Jay-Z. And like I said, Dame was really the first one, but I wouldn't be surprised if more of these stories start coming up, especially with the whole Diddy thing going on. You know, Diddy gonna try and bring anybody down with him he can, but let me see if there's anything.
Rapper Gillie Da Kid has stories for days when it comes to how Jay treats people he feels are below him.
So back in the day, Hove tried to sign my group Major Figures. It wasn't just Hove, it was Dame Dash, it was Rockefeller.
Okay.
You know, I didn't feel as though that the contract was right, so I didn't accept it.
But that's not all. According to Gillie, Jay felt a type of way when he refused to sign the contract with Rockefeller. So he sort of made it his mission to sabotage Gillie at every turn. According to Gillie, Jay's
that
infamous
shit.
Rock Nation brunch is just an opportunity for him to select the next artist he'll sacrifice to get ahead. In fact, Gillie said that the only time you see Jay smile in photographs is when he's with billionaires.
You want me to keep it real with you, or you want me to lie to you?
Keep it 100.
Keep it a buck. I said the Rock Nation brunch ain't of nothing but Jay-Z putting a bunch of on the lawn and then going in the back door and saying, I told you I still run this shit. Give me the money.
Wow. Wow.
Interestingly, almost everyone who has had something to say about the beef between Jay and Cam seems to believe that Jay is the one who is in the wrong. One person said, now that I'm older, I see why Jay had a problem with Cam. Cam wasn't waiting on anybody to make moves. He made them happen himself. I also remember he was going to sign with Big. But do you guys think...
Shit is crazy, bro. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. You know what I'm saying? I was a young lad when all of this was going on, so that's why I'm so interested in it. I genuinely still fuck with Cam. Really, all the Dipset. Jay-Z has some cool shit, but I'm telling you, bro, it's starting to seem like Jay-Z is actually like a billionaire. I guess the only way to be a billionaire is by taking it from other people. That's what I heard about 50 Cent. Let me not go down the list like that, but I've heard that about many of the rich black moguls in music. They had to take from other people, and that's what it sounds like Jay-Z was doing this whole time. And even with the sabotage, I've heard of freaking Yo Gotti. Again, this is all alleged. I apologize if anybody from Yo Gotti's team is watching. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? You just hear about this a lot in the music industry. And I'm going to stop talking because I'm literally yapping at this point. Thank you if you are watching until this point in the video. You are a real one, man. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and sub to the channel, man. Like the video because, you know, it helps me out with the algorithm.